Hey guys, Coach Hunter here, coming at you with Dylan with a grappling fundamentals video, continuing our escapes. Now this is, like I said, this is like a basic primer. I think these are the most foundational, important escapes to have for sure in your arsenal, okay? There are many other positions and there's ways of going about things. Of course, because these are the most foundational and like simple escapes to some degree, they also have a million counters. That is to say, from someone attacking, they're going to know how to counter that escape and get to other things. So the game gets deep, you get all these rabbit holes you can go down, but it's really important that you at least have these, because if you can't use these escapes, you have no chance of getting out. I guarantee you, like, I've never had someone who's brand new to like jiu-jitsu or grappling, put in a bad position, just sort of like wiggle around and thrash and escape a bad position. Typically it goes worse for them, right? They get to a worse position, okay? It's not super clear cut this way, but in general there's like a ladder of like where you're in dominant position, you go to neutral position, you go to inferior positions, but some are worse than others. I'd much rather be in the bottom of side mount than mount. I'd much rather be in mount than back mount, right? Probably the worst possible position, arguably, right? A lot of it depends on context, but you know, so you want to go up, not down, right? So if you're in side mount and you expose your back and they take your back, you made things worse for yourself, not better, right? So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about mount today. So mount, for those who are not aware, is kind of your classic bully beatdown position, right? In MMA, this is a great place to be, where Dylan is. Obviously, it's a terrible place for me to be. He can hit me, right, really effectively, right? And I don't have any offense, really, excepting some really rare and like niche sort of finishes you might see. Like there was an Ezekiel choke from the bottom here. Don't worry about that. That's not a normal thing. So I have to understand what to do here. First thing, my head's off the mat. If I'm getting hit, my head being on the mat means all that force is going directly into my head. My head's being squished between his fist and the mat. That's bad. So my neck, if my head's off the mat, at least my neck's a shock absorber. If he's hitting me, I can kind of like absorb that with my neck. Not great, but better, okay? My hands are up, protecting my face. My elbows are in tight. And this is true in a grappling context as well. Typically, though, I don't have to cover my head. I'm just here in tight, okay? So it's a very similar kind of approach, okay? Do not flare here, because now I'm giving him a worse position. Okay, we'll talk about that in due time. So guys, if he's postured or if he's low, okay, those are important details, okay? For this first escape, I'm gonna want him in a low posture. So, in order to, if he's not already there, if he's tall, I'm gonna bridge, okay? I'm gonna bridge straight over the top. I'm gonna knee him in the back at the same time. Because he has good balance. If I bridge, he might just ride. Good, stay, get tall. Just like, yeah, he has good balance. He can just ride that movement. So, when I knee him in the back, it's really just a push. I'll be hitting him with the top of my thighs. It's not violent, I'm not gonna hurt him. When I bridge, I'm kneeing him in the back, it's gonna force him forward. It's really important that you do not grab around his waist, okay? It's not effective. And the other thing, I'm not stopping anything other than for a few moments of strikes, because I'm too close for him to hit, but he can just push my face down to the mat and hit me with the other hand, and I have no defense. This is bad, okay? It's not gonna work. I'm also exposing my arms for various arm locks, okay? This is instinctive. A lot of times people will just grab here, and the other thing I'm doing is I'm holding him on top of me, okay? I'm not escaping. I'm keeping him on me, so this is just counterproductive in all sorts of ways, okay? So, instead, get all good? I bridge him down. I'm gonna grab an arm. It doesn't matter necessarily how I go about that, okay? Right now, I'm reaching underneath his arm, wrapping around, I get my hands together, and I pull his elbow up onto my chest. This is the way I kind of prefer overall. However, you can reach, like you're asking a question in school, between his arms, and wrap around his arm this way, okay? That's a common thing to do. You could also go under and grab this way. It does not matter. I could get both or just one. I usually will settle for one because I don't need two. My foot on the same side is going to block his ankle. So I stepped over his ankle. This is an important detail, though it matters more when you have a good opponent. Against a poor opponent, it doesn't matter as much because they won't be posting with that leg, but you never know, okay? This is just an important thing to build into your repertoire. Always assume you're gonna be facing someone who's good. That way, if you're facing someone who's not good, it's even easier, okay? You don't need to worry about it. I'm here, I'm blocking his arm, I have his leg. I'm gonna bridge and roll toward the side I have blocked, okay? Coming up, and then I'm in his guard. Not ideal, but this is a neutral position. He has submission and sweep options. I have striking options if we're doing MMA. And if nothing else, I'm not in the bottom of an inferior position. So, I'll just run through this. Now, more briefly, I bridge him down, I trap an arm, I block his ankle, I bridge and roll to the side I'm trapping, coming up nice and postured right away, controlling his ribs or his hips, sitting on my heels. I'm not forward, I'm sitting down, nice and tall through my spine. And we'll just run through this a few times, guys, just without any commentary. So guys, super important. If nothing else, that should be the first escape you try. Over time, that escape becomes less effective against good opponents. There's many counters to that escape, but usually that escape becomes the setup for other escapes. So it's super important no matter what level you're at to master. But if nothing else, against someone who has poor balance, who doesn't understand the position, that's very effective. So guys, like this video and subscribe to our channel for all of our content. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you on the mat.